I'm here to present the contributions of agroforestry to food security. This presentation has been taken from Makerere University Agricultural Research Institute, Kabanyolo, located in Kabanyolo in Wakiso district along Gayaza Zimbabwe Road. Agroforestry is a land use management practice where trees or shrubs are grown together with food or animals. And we have types of agroforestry systems, and these are classified depending on the present practice. For example, we have agrosilvopastoral, where we have trees or shrubs incorporated or grown together with crops and animals. And we also have silvoarable, where we have trees grown together with food crops. And the last agricultural system, we have silvopastoral, where we have trees together with animals. And food security is defined as a state of having reliable access to sufficient quantity of safe and affordable nutritious food to all people at all times. Yes, when all people at all times have physical and economic access to nutritious and affordable food, that is referred to as food security. And food security has basically 4 pillars, where we have availability, accessibility, utilization, and sustainability. For example, for one to be considered food secure, you must have food with you, that is access. Your body must be able to use it effectively, that is utilization. And stability, it must be continuous, like you're supposed to have it all through at all times. So that is basically referred to as food security. The contributions of agroforestry to food security are as follows. Agroforestry contributes to food availability as one of the pillars of food security. For example, we have a number of fruit trees like mangoes, avocado, pawpaw, apples, and soursop, locally known as echitafeli. All these can be harvested and eaten as food, hence contributing to food security. Another contribution of agroforestry is it promotes human health. Some trees planted together with crops, stroke animals, are medicinal trees. For example, bottle grass. We have a number of other trees like mango trees. You can cut them and make a concoction which can be useful in curing of cough, malaria for bottle grass. This is called bitter leaf, locally known as mululuza, and this is known to cure malaria and sore throat and cough. So when this is intercropped or grown together with your crops, we know that health is catered for, and a health person is one that will do farming. That's increasing on food productivity, because when one is healthy, production of food is also increased. We also have these different trees here. They are locally known as musasa. These are now acting as windbreakers that prevent strong winds against this food here. See these ones? They are planted alongside the banana plantation, so these ones protect the bananas from strong winds. And once this is achieved, there is increased production of bananas, hence increasing on food productivity, which contributes to food security. Trees attract a number of pollinators. For example, bees are mostly attracted by flowers of trees like bottle grass, and we know that in food formation, bees are very important to carry out pollination, and when this is achieved, we achieve increased production of food, which contributes to food availability, one of the pillars of food security. also have another contribution of agroforestry, which is providing shade to crops. Here, trees act as shade trees, many of them. For example, we have musizi tree. These, when incorporated in crops or plantation crops like bananas and coffee, specifically coffee, it even increases on the flavor which most people like in coffee, and in banana plantation it increases on the banana productivity yearly. For example, this field where I'm standing right now, it is a banana plantation and it has very big bunches of banana. Normally, on average, a banana bunch weighs around 25 to 26 kilograms. But this, because of the effect of shade trees, like we can see in my background, we have a number of trees. We have Ficus lantarensis, we have Albizia. These trees contribute a lot in food productivity. For example, bunches of this field weigh more than 30 kilograms. They weigh between 35 to 36 kilograms. So this increases on food productivity, which contributes to food security. And we also have another contribution of trees promote or improves on soil properties like soil texture, soil drainage, soil moisture, and soil structure. When tree leaves, like teak tree leaves, fall on soil surface, they act as mulches and cover the soil surface, which improve on the soil moisture. And when soil water is preserved, food production is increased. Now we have agroforestry contributing to provision of firewood or charcoal. For example, this tree is called Ficus lantarensis, locally known as mutuba. This can be used to prepare food in terms of cooking. When this is dry, you prepare food and make it ready or accessible to be eaten and used by the body, hence contributing to food security. This same tree also and others provide poles. Like here, you cut this, provide poles which man can sell and get money, hence increasing on household income levels. And when this is achieved, there is chances of having access to any type of food because you have money to buy this food. Contribution of agroforestry, where trees and some shrubs, for example bitter leaf, promotes animal health. For example, we've seen goats feeding on bitter leaf. This reduces on the expenditure farmer would spend on buying medicine for animals, and it also increases on the availability of feeds, which increases on food production, thus contributing to food security. And we also have these trees contributing to provision of shade to these animals. We've seen them grazing under shade. This gives them good time and it shields them from direct heat and sunshine, which increases on their productivity. Another tree or shrub, this is actually a shrub, it is called coriander. This one is used as fodder, so it is used to feed animals. When we have this, you have these leaves cut into small pieces. You ferment them you keep them for 1 or 2 weeks and add in silage, or you can even cut and feed them when they are still young. These researchers have proved that once a kilogram of this is fed to dairy cow, it increases milk production by 1 liter. So this increases on availability of milk or milk production, which contributes to food security. Trees that are leguminous, these contribute to nutrient recycling and addition of organic matter into the soil. And we know that organic matter has a lot of nutrients which improves on food productivity and food yields, thus contributing to food availability, one of the pillars of food security. On a reduction of soil erosion. For example, we have trees like Ficus naturalis, Emiosis emini, locally known as Mutuba and Musizi respectively. These have taproots and bigger roots that bind soil particles together, which reduces on soil erosion by reducing on the speed of running water, because we also know very well that these trees hold soil particles together and they increase on soil drainage, which reduces on soil erosion. And when soil erosion is reduced, there is improved production because farming is made easy and soil nutrients are available since they are not washed away by erosion. So there is increased production, which makes food available, thus contributing to food security. So we're going to discuss the ecosystem services provided by the different agroforestry systems. An ecosystem consists of all organisms in the environment and how they interact in the environment in which they stay. And the ecosystem services are the benefits that man derive from the natural ecosystem or from the natural environment. And agroforestry system, these are classified based on the present practice. For example, we have agrosilvopasture. This is where we have the trees and the shrubs. This is of all organisms in the environment and how they interact in the environment in which they stay. And the ecosystem services are the benefits that man derive from the natural ecosystem. Agroforestry system, these are classified based on the present practice. For example, we have agrosilvopasture. This is where we have the trees and the shrubs and animals and crops grown together on the same piece of land. That's agrosilvopasture. So we also have another agricultural system, which is silvo-arable. This is where trees or shrubs are grown together with crops. And the last system of agroforestry is referred to as silvopasture. This is where trees are grown on animal farmland, or where trees and animals are managed on the same piece of land. Ecosystem provide many of the basic services that make life possible for people. For example, we have trees. These help in formation of rainfall. We have bees. They help in pollination of flowers, which help in production of food. We also have roots of trees that bind soil particles together and which prevent on soil erosion. We also have living bacteria that contribute to decomposition of organic matter, hence contributing to soil formation and soil nutrient recycling. We have a number of different ecosystem services provided by the ecosystem. One of them is provisioning services. This is any kind of benefit that man gets from one or two of the agroforestry system. For example, in agrosilvopasture system, we see man getting animal products like meat and milk. We also see man getting food, for example, from a banana plantation. We also see getting medicine like herbals, basically gotten from medicinal plants. For example, bottle grass, mangoes. And we also see man getting fuel like firewood and charcoal, like poles. All of these are provided by the ecosystem, or man gets them from the environment. Another service that man derives from the ecosystem is regulating service. These are benefits that are provided by the ecosystem process that regulate or moderate natural phenomenon. For example, trees play an important role in regulating climate change effects by contributing to formation of rainfall. For example, like these trees, they, through their evapotranspiration or transpiration from their leaves, there is condensation takes place from the atmosphere, and when rains are formed, their regulation of heat or temperatures, it lowers down the atmospheric temperatures. That's regulating the climate, and it also contributes to combating of greenhouse effects and contributing to carbon sequentialization. We know that man exhale carbon dioxide and inhale oxygen. So and yet trees or plants need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis, and they exhale oxygen. So these trees absorb carbon dioxide which is in the atmosphere that would cause harm to human beings. And they also hold soil particles together, which controls soil erosion and floods. Another ecosystem service that man derives from the ecosystem is culture service. These are non-material services that man obtains from the different agroforestry systems. Forests provide an opportunity for recreation, tourism, education. So agroforestry and ecosystem is also provide educational services. And we also have some tree species like Ficus naturalis. It is a source of a bark growth which is commonly used in so many cultural ceremonies. They are used in traditional and burial ceremonies. Another service that man gets from the ecosystem is supporting service. These are most basic natural cycles that nature needs to function. Agroforestry provide habitat to different life of different organisms, and it retains biodiversity and nutrient recycling. We also see forests improving on biomass production of atmospheric oxygen, and most importantly, help in formation of soil. Agroforestry builds the gap that often separates agriculture and forestry by building integrated systems to address both environmental and socio-economic objectives. Existing research has suggested that agroforestry can prevent environmental degradation, improve on agriculture productivity, increase carbon sequentialization, and support health soil and also health ecosystems, while providing the stable incomes and other benefits to human welfare, which all contributes to food security. I remain Joan Margaret Nangozi, a student of Uganda Matters University, pursuing a bachelor's degree of science in agriculture, registration number 2019 B053 11265. Thank you for listening to me.